Good morning, everyone.
Howdy, and here we are again, the two apostates who just love to hate.
No, they don't. Some like us.
A couple of them do. But I have a question for you before we get going.
What's that?
What's the difference between Jim Jones and Jehovah's Witnesses?
What?
Time. You know, I was looking at, Kim pointed out a Watchtower. It's the April 15th, 1969. I'm going to have it show you right here in the bottom volume. You can read that question.
Why, Almighty God laughs at the nations.
I find it a little curious that Watchtower would write an article, Why Almighty God Laughs at the Nations, and they turn right around to the book of Revelations and says that God's going to use the nations to shut down religion. So really, Watchtower, who's laughing at who?
Yeah. Well, the reason I got this Watchtower out is I was looking for some information because I had made a statement in my video about how unborn babies, since they never took the breath of life, would not be resurrected. Well, I went to jw.org after that, so I have kind of a clarification, I guess. I wasn't wrong because they did say that in the past. But on jw.org now, they're saying that we just don't know. It's up to Jehovah.
Well, that's not a clarification. That's proof positive that they flip-flop their doctrines. That's all that is. It just proves they don't know and they will flip-flop.
Well, it is a clarification of what I said because some did email me and tell me that their elders told them the same thing, that their stillborn babies would not be resurrected because they had never taken the breath of life. And then some are like, oh my God, I'd never heard that before. So we just, before we get into the thing about Japan, which is the main reason we did this, since Mike brought this up, I was just going to do this real quick. The 1969 Watchtower Bond Volume. And I don't care what those clowns on jw.org say, we are not falsifying Watchtower literature. You mean to tell me we falsified everything behind us? No, we have hard copies of what they said back in 1969.
This is where Watchtower falsifies their literature, right?
Yeah.
It's them that are doing it.
Yeah. So the reason he saw that article on the April 15th is because this is in the April 1st. April 1st,
April Fools.
Yeah. But in that Watchtower, April 1st, page 220, it's questions from readers that starts on page 223. Can a woman who has had a stillborn child reasonably expect the baby to be resurrected if she is faithful to God? And then they go into this whole thing about God knows even the embryo and the Mosaic Law. But over on page 224, this is what it says. Applying that to miscarriages and stillborn, because they're talking about the examples in the Bible about resurrection and humans being raised to life again. Applying that to miscarriages and stillborn deliveries, is it reasonable that in the future Jehovah will insert back into the womb of a woman a perfectly developed embryo or possibly a number of them? No, that does not seem so, nor is it likely that a woman who has had this sad experience actually expect that. Furthermore, resurrection is for persons who have lived as individuals before Jehovah. Even a child who lives for only a short time after birth has existed as a separate person. But a miscarried fetus or stillborn child, though from a biblical standpoint considered a soul while it was developing, never actually lived as a separate and distinct individual. So it would appear that such situations do not fall under the resurrection provision in the Bible.
And now they're saying, well, we don't know. But they knew it back here.
Yeah.
Religion is a snare and a publishing company.
Yeah. And even in the 1984 Watchtower, they go through this whole thing about Job, and he says, you know, it would have been better not to have been born and all of that. But they actually say We don't know. You know, it's up to Jehovah and Jesus how to carry out the resurrection. And then in 2009, I believe, is the most recent one. So, anyway, it's one of those flip-flop doctrines.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, I have been looking through my emails for the person that asked for the address so they can send me the Watchtower Library disc. I got them. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I have no idea what happened to your email. It's in there somewhere, but thank you. I appreciate this very much because this hasn't been tampered with apostates either.
No, it came directly from Watchtower with apostate tampering in it.
But see, like we have said before, this is why they have put all of the literature on jw.org, and they want the Jehovah's Witnesses to go to jw.org because they're the ones that can edit and alter what
Right.
was said. Whereas these hard copies and the CD-ROM, can't change those. I'm not that good of a computer programmer to change
Well,
all
it's
that.
no different than Greta Thunberg deleting a tweet she made several years ago saying the Earth is only going to survive for 5 years if we don't get rid of fossil fuels, but yet here we are, and like anybody stuck in a cult, they erase their history.
Yeah. So, the reason for this video is Japan, and we know some things are going on in Japan, and I want to thank Mr. Tanaka. He is one of the lawyers that is in Japan fighting this, and I will put a link to his tweet because he has tweeted that Japanese senator, I'm sorry, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name, bravely professed to the entire Japanese nation in Parliament that she herself grew up as a second-generation Jehovah's Witness. At the same time, she severely denounced the JW issue to the Minister of Justice in Japan. We are so proud of her.
Yes,
we
we
are.
are.
And when you click on her tweet, there is a YouTube video of her actually giving this speech before Parliament, and you can click on the little CC at the bottom of the video, closed caption, and then this little clock next to it for settings. You can click on that and turn them on, and then right underneath where it talks about the captions, you can do auto generate and translate, and then a list of languages will come up, and you can do it in whatever language you can. But her tweet, I'm going to translate it here. Thank you, Google. Legal Committee question and answer 15 minutes. I asked the Minister of Justice about the problem of avoidance of, and there's some Japanese characters writing, including raising the question of what religion should be in Japan. While it is important for the Consumer Affairs Agency, the Minister of Health, Labor and Welfare, and the Ministry of Education to deal with religious issues, ultimately the Ministry of Justice is the key. And what they are fighting for in Japan is human rights violations on the CSA problem, the shunning problem, not allowing blood transfusions, and this is the issue they're facing. And I did a video, probably about a month ago now, where I was talking about this law they are trying to pass in Japan, where they will make it part of the child abuse laws or rules, whatever you want to call it. I forget the legal term. But forcing a child, that fear indoctrination, forcing them to do things that they may not want to do in the religion, they're all trying to classify this as child abuse.
Well, there again, a message for the Japanese Ministry of Affairs. I point to this article once again. Their God Jehovah laughs at you.
Yeah.
They actually believe that their God laughs at you because they actually believe that the government is incapable of stopping Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
But the fact remains, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you and I first started our YouTube channel years ago, I watched a video from an ex-Jehovah Witness that actually ran for a public office and won. And that person actually stated that he was going to use that office and stop any permits that Jehovah's Witnesses try to, acquire in that area for building kingdom halls or for whatever. And at that time, I arrogantly told Watchtower, be careful, because there'll be a lot of ex-members that will do this. And here's a classic example.
She's a senator.
Classic example.
Yeah. See, and she knows. She grew up in this.
She knows.
She knows. So you think she's going to be telling Parliament the truth? Of course she is. And she is going to... And when you watch this video with the captions, it's like, oh my goodness, she is going after them. And it's right. She is criticizing them for all the same things all of us have been talking about.
Well, see, what she's doing is she's reversing the propaganda bullshit that Watchtower puts out there. And that's what we all have to do. Even with what happened in Germany, no matter what Watchtower says regarding that situation, we have more power to reverse their bullshit. Because that's what we've been doing, especially on this channel, for over 10 years. Reversing their propaganda. Because at this point, it's just this simple to do. You just have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why I said in my first video about this tragedy in Germany is we have to try our best not to get emotional and just stop and think about this. And we already know how Watchtower is spinning this. They're trying to play the victims and make this all about them, and we see it's reversing already, because now all the churches can see what jerks they are. It's like, oh, well, we don't want anything to do with the worldly churches, Christendom, trying to do a memorial for all of the JW victims. Oh no, we want to do it our way with our own Christian principles.
So the world of Christianity in Germany is offering sympathy, condolences, and would like to do something for the community of Jehovah's Witnesses. And in a metaphoric way, they're extending the olive branch, and all Jehovah's Witnesses are doing is slapping that olive branch to the ground, which proves my point from day one. They're not Christians. They're a cult. And like I asked Kim in the beginning, what's the difference between Jim Jones and Watchtower? Time. Time is on our side.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with this new talk that just came out on jw.org about unity and how they are once again lying about us apostates, altering the Watchtower and telling lies and stuff, so they're doubling down on that. But you can see they're the ones lying, because I've always tried to have screenshots right from the hard copies. Sometimes time doesn't permit us to do that on everything, but a lot of times we will hold it up like what Mike did with the bond volumes.
Yeah.
And I have not taken the time to go alter all of this.
Well, okay, here's $100,000 question for you, Watchtower. Right here. Here's that Watchtower article again. So you're writing that Almighty God laughed at the nations, but you go to the nations for help. You go to get the nation's government grants to help support your BS. But how in the hell, forensically speaking, can I match this ink? I have no way to be able to match this ink. Because if you
or those particular hard copies.
You can't do it, Watchtower. So once again, your lying mouth gives you away, because it's so easy to reverse this.
And from all the emails that I've gotten from Pimos, thank you very much. Oh my goodness, so many, and so many have sent you such excellent research and information. I appreciate it. And I'm trying to go through it as quickly as possible because there's a lot of stuff that people are finding.
Yeah.
They're doing their research.
Yeah.
But these PMOs, and I know the Jehovah's Witnesses aren't that stupid. They're not going to keep believing that all of the apostates are changing the Watchtower to promote Satan. It's like, and a lot of this, like Jane Doe, she will turn her camera right to jw.org itself. And they're the stupid ones that have put this on their website, these articles from the 50s and 60s. So it's on their website. So this shows how stupid, what stupid liars they are for trying to get the JWs to believe. Like I said, they're not that stupid.
No, they are waking up. I mean, if a lot of you friends really had a clue to how many emails that this beautiful lady right here has to deal with, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So many JWs waking up right now, and they are reaching out. Maybe not just to Kim and I, but from a lot of the ex-JW videos that I have had time to watch, I'm seeing that all of us are jumping in and handling these questions and helping these people see who and what Watchtower really is, because as I stated earlier, reversing their propaganda is absolutely a very simple thing to do because their own literature does it for us.
Yeah. And I just want to mention that this tragedy in Germany, I think we should all talk about it. I think, I know there's a lot of speculation and, theories and stuff like that. Thing is everybody's entitled to their opinions on that. But I think talking about it is a good thing. And we should be talking about it because we all know that this can happen anywhere. Anytime, any place. So I think it is a good thing. Yes, it was a horrible, horrific tragedy. And it is a very traumatic and emotional thing. And that's my personal opinion.
And here again, what I said earlier, Watchtower slaps the olive branch to the ground. So how should we feel? When there's compassion extended towards that group of Jehovah's Witnesses as a whole by other church members, and they slap away that expression of humanity, then how should we really feel?
Yeah.
How should we feel? Because it proves, like I've said before, they're not Christians and they want nothing to do with Christians. All you got to do is look at the difference. Cross versus stake. Blood, no blood. Partaking of the emblems or not partaking of the emblems. All of the warning signs, all of the dots that anybody needs to connect to show these people are not Christian have always been in front of us.
Yeah. So thank you for watching, and I will put the links down below to this. And if I can find the YouTube video where the German spokesman was given his story on this, and it was almost word for word what I read in the article the other day, how he was outraged.
Outraged. That
And
other Christians would be doing this.
yeah, without their permission,
Right.
and contacting the families and stuff like that, and not allowing them to have a say in how this should be done according to their Christian principles. So if I can find that video, I will put the link down below to that, and you will have to use the closed caption subtitles also on that because it is in German. So thank you for watching, and you all have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.